What's going on, guys? It's Easy. Welcome to my channel, Shadow Assassin. This is what I am calling these builds because you will have the ability to use smoke screen, which will make you vanish, and also if you are under the control of total loss of control or knockback, you can use smoke screen to get free from that. And also you will have shadow sight, which will immobilize enemies player every 5 seconds in a huge radius, and not only that, your damage is going to be crazy against them. Even whales are going to feel that. This is exactly what I will be showing you guys. This is all about improving damage output for the builds, making making sure that you can break free from the total loss of control, which I just did here. You are also going to immobilize other players and they are going to receive a lot of damage. However, keep in mind that since this is a build which doesn't have a lot of mobility, you will have to stay behind, use your team member as a shield or provide them support and deal tremendous amount of damage, because this is not only a support build but highly high DPS build as well. Your damage against players are going to be really lethal because I am using SSS and set here, which is going to improve the damage output of our channeling and overall primary attack. And that is why I am using the movement stance here and not the crit chance here. And if someone tries to lock you here on the spawn area, you can just shadow you use the shadow sight on them and they are going to die really easily. They won't be able to lock you here, so you can provide a lot of damage output here and they won't be able to run away. And also, if you're up against a monk who like to use invisible thing, you can also use immobilize on them and they won't be able to move. So even monk is going to get immobilized with the shadow side. So this is why they are truly shadow assassin build. And I was fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to find a real lobby match, so I thought let's record this and test this build here, because in other matches I actually kind of got uh, 18 kills with 3 deaths and I was providing support. And here you guys can see my main source is rocket and my multi-shot has pretty much no cooldown at all. Also, necromancer are not much of a big deal here. You can use smoke screen to run free from them and then immobilize them and they are just dead. So necromancer are not going to be that much of an issue. The only downside which I notice with this build is that you cannot go up against a lot of players, and if you get caught by surprise by someone or multiple players, you are done for. It is quite hard to run away from that because we only have one uh, charge on our smoke screen, so we cannot always spam that. We will have to use that on the right time. And the second thing which I notice is that the dot damage on us. If someone has a really high dot damage on us, then yeah, we cannot really do anything about it, because with the escape builds we can use best guard, which provide us shield and it helps negate some dot damage or help us to avoid receiving that. But here, if you receive a lot of dot damage, then you will have to take it fully, and yeah, that's about it. And also, just like I was talking about getting surprised by many, this is how you will die, and you cannot stay on the front line. But however, as long as you are staying behind someone, providing them DPS support, this build is working really nicely. And I know there are so many people who like to use rockets from behind, so for those players they can definitely go with this build, and instead of jumping with diving screen here and there, they can be actually a little bit more useful, and this shadow side works quite nicely versus pretty much everyone. So yeah, this build is working nicely, but definitely it needs some practice. I myself need some practice on this to make them useful. But anyhow, let me share the builds with you guys. And yes, this was a real match, and my damage against real was really strong. So yeah, I was dealing quite tremendous damage there. Even when I was stopping with my channeling, they were receiving the explosion from me. But anyway, let's get into the build now. Alright, now that you have seen the build, let me break through everything quickly. I don't want to get into full detail here. I will give you guys the quick overview. We are using protectors so that I can have more health and movement speed, since the size give more movement speed. Also, the stance which I'm using is green, which is movement speed. That is actually a good one. Paragon specialization is damage reduction here. Grizzle veteran to the victor. Overpower, the more you kill and stay alive, the more crit chance you have. Then if you stay close to your party member, you will receive less damage. Hold formation and cheat death. So this is what we are using for the specialization. Then moving forward to my secondaries, this is what it looks like. 5700, 5400. This is my secondary. That is what they looks like. And my legendary gems are Colossal Surge, Mourn Skull, Gloom Cask, Bloodsock Jade. Then we have, what do we have here? We have Bottle Hope and Wolf Heot, Rolling Consequence, and Fervent Fang. On my Gloom Cask, I was actually using the Spiteful Blood so I can receive less damage. I forgot, because my other builds I cannot use Gloom Cask, so therefore I use this one. However, Gloom is going to work with this build. So there goes my gem setup and my reforge. Let me quickly show you guys my reforge as well, then we will get into the builds. So this is what my reforge looks like. Damage taken from player reduced, damage taken while suffering loss of control decreased, duration of beneficial effects, and then you can stun enemies as well if you have 3 buffs from the same family, which is Jolt set. Then attack speed and damage to players. So all 8 pieces pretty much have the same thing for the reforge, and it works really nicely. Then moving to my set items, we are using 4 pieces of Seeds of Swan Gold, which is going to increase your damage when you do channeling. And we are using then 4 pieces of Vitus Arch to increase our attack speed, and 3 of our skills is going to trigger the Void Vitus Arch. One is Shadow Side. I think it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But yeah, Smoke Screen is going to trigger it, and also your multi-shot is going to trigger it. So these two are actually going to trigger it, and cooldown on both of them are actually really low, so that is good. And now let's get into the essences itself. So skills, we are using multi-shot Smoke Screen. When we get the CC effect, I can break through easily with this one. It is really nice. Then our main source is Strafe, and I am doing everything here to improve my Strafe damage. I will get into that. Then Shadow Side, which is quite unpopular skill here but works really nicely with this build. Keep in mind, this is not the mobility build, so you have to stay behind and attack and provide damage and support. So this is more like a assassin builds with DPS. Then let's get into the essences. Hidden Serenade, which is for the Shadow Side. Shadow Side now target an area to mark an immobilized enemy. Let me show you guys from here. Oh, hold on, I can just trigger here and you guys can just see Shadow Side also trigger your critical hit chance by 28.5%. No, it doesn't show everything, my bad. So here it says preventing them from using dash. If a marked enemy takes damage from you 6 times, they will burst, dealing damage 41,000. So if you manage to hit them while they are immobilized, yeah, you can trigger this. Burst cannot trigger more often than once every 1 second per enemy. So it's a huge damage which is happening there. So yeah, hidden grenade is really good in my opinion to provide support and be a assassin. Then sinful rigor is what we are using, so I can get 10% more damage on my strafe. And also, since I cannot use unrelenting fury to extend the duration of my strafe because we are using black tar rain here, so this is actually a better option and keep your energy up all the time. You will not run out of it. Then for the multi-shot we are using hailfire. This is a really nice source for damage for with the multi-shot with this build. Then again, clatter shards is what we are using for the shadow side. It gives you more critical chance for 1.5 second, and since shadow sides have 5 second cooldown, so this is really nice. Thanks Peter for your multi-shot. Multi-shot now empower your primary attacks to fire multi-shot for a short time. This works with hail fire. Then for the smoke screen itself, we are using this one here. Smoke screen now engulf you in a fog, allows you to retreat a short distance, instantly rendering you invisible while also removing loss of control effect and making you immune to them. So this is great to escape. Ninja assassin builds there. Then pain sour. Strafe now fires your primary attack focus at nearest enemy, and to further improve your damage with the strafe, we are using this one. Crossbow shot damage is increased by 57% for your next shots, and we are combining that with these where Seas of Swan goals. It helps really good. Your damage bust is really good with this build. So yeah, this is overall the build which I was using, and you guys can clearly see how effective I was versus the whales. But keep in mind, if there are going to be the imbalanced match where you are the only person fighting, then these builds will not work and you will fail. But anyhow, just wanted to show you guys the assassin builds there, and with this I'll see you guys in the next one. Do let me know what are your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care, have fun, and bye guys.